start with a question for Emily. You got to experience the exhibition meet, and now you've had a couple of meets. And I was looking at the average attendance. LSU's number one in the country in attendance again at this point after a couple of meets. But what has it been like, the experience of being here and competing here, and especially doing floor as you specialize in, which is something people get really excited about, as compared to what you knew in the past?
Yeah, I would say like competing here is a lot different, and just with the crowd and the fan base that we have, it's so fun, especially with this team. It's a lot easier to get on the floor and be calm because I know my team trusts me, so I might as well trust myself. But yeah, it's easy to lean on my team and just have fun out there. I think with the energy that the crowd brings and the energy that our team brings, it makes it a lot fun. I don't think I've ever had as much fun competing as I am doing now.
This is also for Emily. Just how has it been kind of being in that leadoff spot for floor?
It's been really fun. I think the last time I was in leadoff was my freshman year, so it's definitely a familiar position for me. But I am grateful to be able to, kind of be the fire starter for my team and build momentum for them, as, behind the lineup has been doing an amazing job. I feel like floor has been one of the events we are able to build from each routine pretty consistently, so that's been fun to see and just grateful to be in that position.
Okay, and then Kaliya, this one's going to be for you. We saw your high on vault last week, and then how did it feel knowing you sort of nailed that performance? And then also if you want to talk a little bit about your floor routine that we've seen great things from this season.
Nailing my vault last week, it felt amazing. I've had a little bit of a struggle with controlling it recently, so that gave me a lot of confidence and just trusting myself, knowing that I can compete like that, so that was really good for me. And my floor routine, it's just, I have so much fun doing floor. It's my favorite event, so going out there last for my team and just giving it my all has been an amazing time for me.
Stay with Kaliya then for both of y'all. Just, does it matter having back-to-back home meets like this? Do you feel like you can build momentum or maybe, relish in the moment a little bit more?
I definitely think it's nice having back-to-back meets for us. Just our crowd and our fan base really gives us so much confidence and helps us have fun out there. So I'm excited to have these back-to-back meets.
I think with, starting out the season traveling as much as we did, it's a nice break to be at home back to back and just experience the PMAC. It's like we talked about earlier, like it has a lot of energy and helps us, have fun and do great gymnastics. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to keep building and adding from meet to meet.
And we'll stay with you, and then I'm coming back to Kaliya. What are you learning about Jay and the staff that maybe you didn't learn through the recruiting process, and now that you're into the full swing of things?
I think one of the biggest things I've learned from the coaching staff since I've been here is just how intentional they are with everything. There's always a reason for everything that they do, and they help us understand what that reasoning is. I think that's super important, whether that's like drills in the gym or just like why we keep our schedule the same we do each week, just to build consistent and learn our process throughout the week has been helpful. And it's been a consistent process, which I really enjoy, and I think it's important to understand why you do the things that you're doing every single day. So that's been definitely a cool thing to learn.
Kind of going off what Emily said, I agree. They're very intentional with everything they do and having a reason for everything they do. So that's really nice, and being able to trust them and trust what they're saying works. So, yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Just you having to kind of trust the process and get back to, where you were able to compete the way you are right now. I guess just how has that journey been? How rewarding is it for you right now?
The journey has been great. Obviously, it was a little bit hard in the beginning because I felt a little discouraged and scared, I would say. Kind of feeling like I don't know if I'll be able to get back to where I was before. But just having my teammates, my coaches, our athletic trainers, all of that helping me along the journey has been great, and I'm just so glad I get to be back out there with my team.
First for Kaliya, do you feel 100% now? Do you feel like, or maybe even better than you have in a long time?
This is definitely one of my high points. I feel great right now.
Good. And for Emily, my first question is, when you go home, Permanente Brothers, guilty pleasure or something you have to stay away from?
It's pretty big, I'd say, down in Pittsburgh. My family used to go all the time, and it's definitely one of the biggest questions I get asked when people find out I'm from
I've been to
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh a couple of times. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome place to go to.
Yes.
How did you wind up all the way out at Washington, and how did you talk about your path to LSU?
Yeah, when I was first being recruited, it was obviously during COVID, so a different recruiting process than a lot of other people have experienced. But I was kind of looking at schools closest to home just because what I'm used to. A lot of the meets we do in club were only a drive away, so I didn't really, get to experience flying during club. But when Washington reached out to me, I thought it was the coolest opportunity to be able to see another part of the country. So that's why I, went over there, had a great experience. Just went through a lot of coaches changes, especially before I even got there. The coaches stepped down, and then had another set of coaches for 2 years, and then they left. And then obviously new coaches, which was really cool to just experience the amount of different coaching perspectives I was able to learn. But just for my last year, I wanted something different, and I decided to enter the transfer portal. And when LSU reached out to me, it was an opportunity I felt like I couldn't pass up, and it just felt like the right place to be. And now that I'm here, I can definitely say that was the right decision, and happy to be here with the team that's here now.
It's for both of you. We'll start with them. Though, just who's somebody in your gym right now that you really like what they're doing, that you're really like, you're in a good spot kind of thing?
I guess like a specific person. Yeah, I'd say we have a lot of different leaders and personalities on this team. I think from a gymnastics standpoint, Kaliya is one that we are all just like speechless in the gym because we all joke that she has like springs built into her legs. It's just really impressive. I would say Kaliya because she's quiet, but there's a lot that she speaks through her gymnastics, and I think that's a really cool thing that she brings to the gym specifically.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Same with Emily said, we do have a lot of talent gymnastics-wise and just a lot of great people on the team, but for me personally, I would probably say Connor McLean just because, I don't know, Connor's just amazing and like all around she's a great person and athlete, and I just really look up to her in all ways.
Emily, being in the leadoff spot, sometimes, judging me, what it is, you always get the score that maybe that a leadoff person deserves. But you have to kind of go out there and set a tone. Just what is that like? Does it take a special mentality? I guess what I'm saying to be in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, I'd say for the leadoff, I'm just more focused on going out and hitting a clean routine, and just what I'm focusing on in practice that week, I try to apply it to my routine, and I think I've been doing a good job of that. As you can see, like with my scoring too, it's been pretty consistent. As much as we are all trying to have a higher score, my goal is to go out there and just start my team off with a consistent routine that they can build upon and keep that going throughout the lineup. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I wish. Opening statement. I don't have much different to say than I did the other night. I was not overly thrilled with our performance. And not because you're ever unhappy with a mid to high 197 score, but just based on the way we trained last week, I had a higher expectation of what I thought we would do. And so, we've still clearly got some growth to do if we want to be a complete team, and so we'll get back in the gym today and begin to continue to address that.
You guys going to compete against Auburn this week, another ranked SEC opponent. After winning the last 3 meets, how do you guys kind of plan on keeping this winning streak going?
I don't, we don't talk an awful lot about things like that. It's really just, we have a pattern and a system that we like to get into this time of year. And just continue to try to grow. We talk all the time about how we're competing against everybody every time we set foot on the floor, and really more than anything else, I think we're competing against ourselves right now. We have yet to really put one together. We had that 198 at home, but we had an event that night that was not very good, and so trying to get all 4 events on the same page is really where our focus is right now. It's not about trying to keep a winning streak going, or it's about growth. It's about preparing and getting where we need to be for late in the season, and continuing to try to find ourselves. I still feel like we've put some really nice pieces together in various spots, and we've looked really good at times on every event. But yet to see it all come together at once, and I think that's the next step in our progression that we need to see.
I was looking, maybe it's not good to compare, but I was looking at last year's score, and y'all had 198 at this point last year. I think in your first, it was like your 7th or 8th meet before y'all kind of took off. Considering you don't have a Haley or an Aaliyah on this team, people who you're like 2 people who, like you said, could be your hammers, and you're still trying to find everyone's role and who you can depend on and everything. It seems like you're about where could be predicted that you would be at this point of the season with your development and trying to and of course you're number 2 in the country in average, so it hasn't been bad.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's been bad. It's just about meeting the standard that we believe that we ought to be able to meet. And I don't look at things year over year like that. This team has what it needs to be successful and to be successful at the highest level. And we've got to mature a little bit. We seem to have to go through that every year. You go through a process, and sometimes it's about physical preparation, and other times it's about being able to mentally stay where you need to stay and demand the standard that you set for yourself every time. And we're still growing in that area. It's not about whether Aaliyah and Haley are here anymore. We got more than plenty in terms of gymnastics. The question remains, are we going to be as consistent as we need to be? In every environment we've been in, if we put 4 clean events, and I'm not talking about perfection, if we put 4 clean events together, we would have gone 198 multiple times by now. But again, it's not about the score. It's you could have that level of performance and not get that score. So it really isn't. It's so nuanced in the way that we have to approach this thing and think about it. It's really just getting to a place where we're comfortable enough that we can pull the trigger when we need to.
I guess we're all kind of talking about the same thing. I don't know if you're at the halfway point or past it, but do you feel like it's time to shift a gear now? And is this something that you and the coaches kind of schedule? Like, is there a talking point or a time where you say, all right, here's where we're going to really, like, the baby steps are over?
I think I wouldn't characterize it like that, but I do think we reach a point where we have to start looking at solidifying what our lineups are going to look like and really creating an environment where people can kind of get into that rhythm. I think we're getting to a point where we can't or should not be tinkering too much with things going forward. Doesn't mean we can't make changes or that we won't. It just means that we need to be starting to decide what that's going to look like as we get close to March and April. And but really, it's just about take the next step, growth. And we've seen growth every week, week over week, but we have seen it move, grow in one area, and then not show that level of growth in another. And I think the next step for us is, as I said earlier, is just, can we put a clean meet together? Can we put a 4-event clean meet together? Not 3 events or 2, but 4. And that's really it.
You think about Kaylin and just the consistency, I guess, that she's kind of been performing with throughout her career now. Do you feel like we are taking it for granted, given that she's just a sophomore?
I don't take it for granted. I can tell you that. I mean, it's something to behold. I mean, she's an example of what we would like to see across the board, just in terms of consistency. And even she had a mistake on floor, and she's had mistakes on bars, and she's had those things. But in the clutch, she's been able to really come through when we've needed her to. And there's others that have done a great job with that too. So it's not the Kaylin Chio show, and it's not. She's not our team. She's a part of our team, and she is a highly visible part of our team because she contributes on all 4 events so consistently. But it's really about everybody. It's about, you heard the names that they just mentioned when they were sitting up here. So they all recognize each other's abilities and what everybody brings to the table. And it's going to tell them all the time, for us to be successful, it's going to take all 21 of them. It's not about Kaylin Chio or 3 people. It's about all 21 of them.
I got a weird question that doesn't really relate to anything, but you might be the guy to ask. Do Olympic sports get jazzed up when the Olympics are going on?
Not when the Winter Olympics are going on, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, I haven't heard it mentioned in the gym at all. I think they pay attention when they're, in the summer games, because a lot of these are their contemporaries. A lot of the people that they know on the Olympic team are out there performing, and I think they pay attention to that. Most of them grew up with the dream of doing that. If they didn't do it, they still look at it as sort of the pinnacle of the sport. But I hadn't heard a whole lot of talk about bobsledding or ski jumping in the gym. No. Yeah. Mixed doubles curling. Oh, is that the thing where they got the brushes on the ice? And yeah, I think I could do that. It's like shuffleboard on skates or something.
Forgive me if I got the wrong name, but I've been seeing. Is it Leah Miller who's on crutches when I see her?
Yes.
What is her deal, and do you have any hope that she will be?
She won't be back this year.
What was the?
It was an ACL.
We've chronicled your success in the portal, I guess, and your success at retention in the portal. But I guess you guys have some kind of initiative coming up that trying to, when the portal opens, you're really looking to.
Yeah, channeling our inner Lane Kiffin, I guess, we're just watching how he's managed the portal and seen some of the cleverness of, transfer to the SIP when he was at Ole Miss and things like that. I just think it's going to be part of the calendar and the landscape year over year, probably for a lot of schools, whether it's people leaving or people transferring in. And so I don't know how we came up with it, but reboot to the boot has sort of been our theme when portal season comes around. We got a little the boot being Louisiana for people outside of Louisiana that don't know that this place is referred to as the boot. So it's to people that are looking for a reboot, we're going to be active in the portal probably annually at some level. And so I think we put that out there the other day.
speaking of portal, Emily Ennis was one of the players people you got in the portal. I don't imagine it's quite as colorful a story as the Courtney Blackson story just coming across her. But what made her someone that you guys were interested in, and how did that come about, getting her?
I mean, she was an all-conference performer. We knew who she was based on things we had seen, and when her name went in the portal. I mean, Garrett's the one that tracks all this stuff. Like, it really comes to me after he's sort of filtered through, what our needs are and who he thinks fits the bill, and so we just looked at her, from an outside perspective with what we were losing on balance beam and on floor, and we felt like probably we could get a vault out of her. It just seemed to fit the bill, and then we got her on campus, and her personality was such that we absolutely believed that that she would fit with what we're trying to do. She's a wonderful person, and you'd be blessed to have a team full of Emily Ennis's on your team, just because of the maturity and the even keeledness and the way she goes about her business. And she's selfless. She doesn't put a lot of emphasis on herself. She wants to do well for the team. She doesn't get emotionally high or low. She stays really very grounded, and provides. I have individual meetings with all of them at different times of the year, and some of the more enjoyable conversations that I've had this year have been with her. She's a very thoughtful and curious person about process and support. How can I support the system that's in place, and how can I be a better influence and provide greater leadership? She's always inquisitive about how to improve, and she's very self-reflective, which I think is refreshing in today's day and age. Most people want to reflect on what other people don't do or do. She's really about self-improvement and being the best influence on others as she can be, and I think that's just very refreshing in today's world. I think so. I think that personality trait of being pretty level. I don't think it's mandatory, but I think it does help her be. She doesn't seem to get overwhelmed by the moment.
Last week we asked you about somebody, that you wanted to talk about, I guess, and you mentioned Kaliya. I guess just anybody this week that's kind of shown out or that's modeling, like the same question I asked the girls, modeling what you want in the gym?
No, I mean, I maintained, what was that, 6-7 days ago. I haven't seen anything seismic go on in our team that would cause me to think. I think, what did I say, Amari and Kaliya last week? I think, I think that's pretty consistent. I mean, that doesn't eliminate anyone. I mean, I told you, it's all 21 of them. It's not as simple as that. There has to be a symbiosis of connectivity throughout the entire team for this group to be successful, or any, for that matter, as far as I'm concerned.